Okay, good afternoon, Sherry. This is Sherry. Do you mind if I say your last name or you just want to use your
I
first
don't mind
name?
at all.
This is Sherry Witt. And would you mind telling the people what you came in for?
Sure. I came in, I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's, was taking my thyroid medication, but still never felt well. And I thought, well, it's probably stress, other things going on in my life. Took the stress out of my life and still didn't feel well. And thought, okay, there's something else going on here. I had terrible joint pain, wasn't sleeping well, tired, just that feeling of exhaustion followed me around all day. And I thought, okay, this is not how I should be living my life. So I started to do a little research and I found your website and got very interested and let's try something.
So you came to us through Dr. Google, right? You were
I
doing
came
Dr.
through
Google.
Dr. Google, I sure did.
And you found our website where we talk about Hashimoto's. And what did we do with you that made the difference?
Well, I think it was a few things. The food tests were huge for me because I thought I was eating healthy and I thought I was doing the right things. For example, I was having lemon water in the morning, the hot lemon water for my metabolism. I was doing a shake that had hemp seeds in it, for example, but I thought it was healthy. But then through the food tests, I learned those are two things that I cannot have.
Right.
So I was almost, yeah, sabotaging myself doing things that were not
Yes.
good for me.
And foods, because we eat food every day, right? Food is the number one trigger for a lot of autoimmune conditions because it's something we do every day. And if you don't test, you don't know. And some of the food sensitivities are specific to you. Some of you guys, the foods are similar, the foods that are a problem. It's not just wheat and gluten. It can be other foods like corn or yeast or broccoli, but if you don't test, you don't know. So it starts with good testing. And once you know what your specific foods are, you have to eliminate them, right? And you've been very good about that. You're very disciplined. And so what has been better since you've started?
My joint pain is pretty much gone. Sometimes if I have something that I shouldn't have, or not knowing, if I go out or something, um, I could get a little bit of that or get tired a little bit, but then I know because now I have the tools. I have the tools to know what I need to do. And my sleep is great. Of course, Lauren helped me balancing my hormones. Being in menopause, she helped with all of that. Also, the viral testing that you did, learning that I had the Epstein-Barr and going through a treatment for that. So I think kind of hitting it at all the different angles.
Yes.
It's just, wow.
And chronic underlying infections, one of the most common is an active Epstein-Barr virus infection, can be an aggravating trigger for autoimmune conditions like Hashimoto's and some other. So again, if you don't test, like I say to patients all the time, if you don't test, you don't know. So you've been a pleasure to work with, and I know you've seen our nurse practitioner, Lauren, who is excellent, right? She's very good. And she keeps me on the straight and narrow path.
You guys are a great team.
Yeah, we do work well together. We discuss your case, we bounce different cases, and we bounce our approach, and we kind of have a blended approach, which works for the patient's benefit. So, well, it's a pleasure to treat you guys, and I just want to remind people, Hashimoto's is the number one reason, untreated Hashimoto's is the number one reason why women suffer on a day-to-day basis. And it's the most common autoimmune disease in the world, and like most autoimmune diseases, it affects women more than men. So most of the patients we do see are women. And it takes more than just medication. The key is to figure out the underlying triggers, and we think we know what a lot of those triggers are. As time goes on, we might discover more triggers that need to be addressed. So, but most of you, once we help you figure those things out, you do fantastic. And some of you feel like you're cured, but I always tell patients, you cannot cure autoimmune disease. You might feel like you're cured, but you have to keep doing what we figured out, right? Would you agree with that?
Absolutely.
Right.
Yes, absolutely.
You read on the internet, people say you can cure XYZ autoimmune disease, but I'd caution people to understand you know, once you have an autoimmune disease, you have the propensity to have symptoms, but as long as you control the triggers, you can control the underlying autoimmune condition. So that's the key. Oh, thanks very much, and we'll see you again.
Thank you. Thanks for giving me my energy back.
Good.